Here's what we're going to do, Tara. I want to ask you some questions. This is the bra you're going to show in, right? Under all your show clothes?
Correct.
Okay. And the waistband, that feels comfortable at your waist? Your real waist, which is right in between your rib cage and your pelvis bone. So that looks good. And they come up and hit the crotch, so that's good. And you've got your boots on. Okay. I want you to stand up straight all the time, hands at your side, and kind of relaxed but good posture. Okay. Straight ahead. Most of these measurements I'm going to do are going to be just skin measurements, not pulled snug. So unless I tell you to pull snug, they are simply skin. This is her neck measurement around the middle of her neck. It's a skin measurement, and she's relaxed. For a neck height, we want to make sure the collar doesn't come up too high on her, against her chin. So I'm starting at the hollow space in her neck here and going up to where it looks to me like it might be comfortable. And I certainly wouldn't go any higher than that on her. And turn just a little bit sideways. Her bicep is about in the middle of the arm. Again, a skin measurement. Her forearm is just below the elbow, the largest part. And her wrist is right where the wrist bends, actually. The chest measurement, I want you to hold your arms out just a little bit. I'm going to take the tape measure around the body, clear up under the arms as high as I can go. And I have the little bit of one finger underneath the tape measure, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. I'm going to pull it pretty snug, though, on this top one. And in the back, you can see it's high up under her arms, like such. Now for the bust, I'm going to pretty much keep the back where it is and drop down and cover the full part of the bust in the front. So it stays pretty much parallel to the floor. Now her waist, again, is taken at the smallest part of her body, or certainly between the rib cage and the pelvis bones. And that's a 27. She's breathing 27 and a half. She breathed a little bit more. Now, on some people, you're going to want to take a rib cage measurement, which would be just a couple of inches above the waist, just to kind of double check. And hers is 29. And then, again, on some people, if they're heavier right below the waist, you might want to go down about 3 inches and measure that. For her, that's a 32 and a half. And I call that one an abdomen measurement. Okay, for the front width, I'm going to go from the crease in her arm to the crease in this arm, just straight across her body, like such. And then for the arc of her bust, I'm going to find the side seam under her arm, go from there across the full part of the bust over to the other side seam. The back width is taken from crease to crease as well. Now, making sure she looks straight ahead, I'm going to measure across the very top of her shoulders from the end of one to the end of the other. And 2 measurements are going to be taken here. One for a blouse or a vest. And I can feel her shoulder bones right here, which on her, that's good. That's 15 and a half. But for a jacket, I'm going to come out just a little bit further to a 16 and a half. And where that 16 and a half is, I'm going to put my finger, and I'm going to go straight down her arm to where the wrist bends. Now, we always add the ease necessary, so I just need body measurements. And for her, her arm length is 22 and a half. When you look at your shoulders, most people have a normal shoulder slope, which if you extended a line straight out from her neck to her shoulders, you'd have about a 2-inch drop. Some people have high shoulders, which is more of a straight line out, and some people have a sloping shoulder, which is more than a 2-inch drop. These measurements are very important for us to know when we're making your garment. However, sometimes you may have one shoulder that's higher than the other, and we need to know that too. For her back waist, I want to locate the point on the base of her neck in the back, right here, the prominent bone. And I'm going to start there, making sure she's looking straight ahead, and measure down to the middle of the waistband, which is 15. And holding that, I'm going to go on down to where I want her jacket to stop. Now the full part on her of her hips is right here, which is a 23. Anything longer than that is going to make her legs look visually shorter, so we prefer jackets that start at 23, and many of them are halfway in between, around 19. And if you're going to ride, you might want to even come up a little bit higher. But remember, whichever length you choose for a jacket, whether it's short or medium or long, the measurement you give us is what we're going to make the jacket, and it may not be able to be lengthened. So it's a very important measurement. And then I'm going to locate that bone again in the back of her neck, and I'm going to bring the tape measure around her neck to the side to the bust point, which is 14. She's looking straight ahead, and on down to the middle of the waistband, which is 21. Now the hip measurement is best seen from the side. It's the fullest part of the hip, right before the hip cups in toward the leg. And you want that parallel to the floor, and just a skin measurement, which is 38. Tara has on polyester pants, which she's going to wear under her chaps. If you're going to wear jeans, you want to be sure and be measured in jeans. These fit up around her waist, above her belly button, and they have a nice close fit, so they're easy to measure. I'm going to do the outseam measurement, which is top of the waistband down to the floor. And she has on her boots, so we don't have to add anything for that. While I'm here, I'm also going to measure from the top of the waistband to the middle of the knee, right where her knee bends. And then if you'll turn and face the camera. Then I'm going to measure the crotch to the floor. And that's the inseam. Her thigh is about an inch below the crotch and straight around. And for this one, I'm going to pull it snug. And I have just one finger under there. And the same for the knee, right where the knee bends, straight around, and pretty snug. The calf measurement is taken at the fullest part of the leg below the knee, and that's snug too, straight around. And then one more measurement, which is the chap waist. We're going to locate a point 4 inches from the top of the belt, which would be right here. And she could put her finger there, but I've already got it. And I'm going to pull that snug. Now in the back, notice how the tape measure goes up to the waistband in the back. So it's up in the back where the waistband is, but in the front it comes to a point. And for her that's 30. Now a couple of other measurements help us determine some things. And one is the top of the waistband in the front down to the floor. And then I want to take the same measurement only in the back. There. From the top of the band down to the floor. This is good to tell me if a waist might slope forward or backward, or if on a man, especially for chaps, it just makes them sit better.